Thanks, you guys. I don't know if it work. I little button to push, so here I am. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I just did the last 15 minutes live, not live. Oh my gosh, you guys are so patient. I didn't know there was an additional button to push, so here I am. Um, Hello. Thanks, you guys. I don't know if you were able to hear this, but I am a dork. I just did 15 minutes live, but didn't push the live button. I'll get better at this, I promise. Um, Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to talk to you first about some of my experience. So, with intuitive body scanning, which I love, I use this every day in my daily life and my daily practice to scan myself, pets, people. This is what I do for work. And one of the things I want to bring forward is the fear of getting it wrong. I want to hear about your fears as well, why you think that it's difficult to do a body scan, why you think you're blocked, why you think it's impossible, if you don't think your third eye is open, all that stuff. Just share that with me. I'd love to hear your feedback. So when I first started, when I hung my sign that it's time to get to work as a healer, I resisted. I oftentimes resist before I leap. And when I said yes, people were showing up. And one woman came to me with pain in her pancreas, and she'd already seen a Western doctor. She'd already been to an acupuncturist. I knew we had a pancreas. I didn't know where it was in the body, and I didn't know what it looks like. That's the cool thing, is you don't have to know anatomy to do this work, because the divine energy is going to show you what you need to see in the body. So I was holding her hands and I was asking to see the pancreas, and I noticed that the pancreas had a fold and had a tail. And I'm like, oh, well, you have a fold in your pancreas, so maybe we should get that fold out. So I'm concentrating and asking for a healing in her pancreas, asking for the fold to come out. She leaves without pain, and I Google what the pancreas looks like, and it's got a tail and it's got a fold. So thank God that, the divine's working through me to do the work. So when you are scanning the body, you don't have to know intuitive, you don't have to know anatomy. And it's okay if you're afraid to get it wrong, because when you get it wrong, you'll eventually learn what that feels like, and you'll know that you're heading in the wrong direction if you're getting it wrong. You also start to learn what it feels like to get it right. I've not been perfect. I have not been perfect at intuitively scanning the body. That skill has definitely developed over time. I think we're all born with intuition. I think that you can trust your intuition, but when we go through school, we're conditioned to learn through other means and not use our intuition. So we have to nurture the intuition to get it back on board again. Another thing that I see people do that they're really concerned about when they want to do intuitive body scanning is they feel like their third eye is blocked. Everyone can intuitively see. I know that's a big statement to make, but if you have an imagination, if you can close your eyes and you can visualize your child or visualize a flower, that is using your intuitive gift of sight. We just put too much pressure on us. It shrinks our energy field when we put that kind of pressure on us. And same with that fear of getting it wrong. The fear of getting it wrong leads into proving yourself. And the cool thing about proving yourself, everyone that I've worked with that has this belief construct of proving themselves, they work very hard to be successful. They will not fail. They might be afraid of failing, but they will not fail. What happens though is you're this density, you're this body, but you're also light, right? This light body wants to be expansive. And when you put that pressure on yourself to get it right, to prove yourself, you're adding more density and you're making it much harder. So play with this, have fun with this, explore this, scan your pets and scan plants and scan your friends and your family. And you're not violating their free will, but don't be malicious about it. You want to read from the highest plane of light and receive as much intuitive insight with clarity and truth as you can without getting your ego involved. That ego is the proving it. of the fear of getting it wrong, the fear that you're not going to see anything, the fear that you're going to see too much. All the fear stuff is ego based, and it's okay that we have an ego. It's there for a reason, or else we wouldn't have it. But we want to know how to let the ego just take the back seat and let your intuition lead in the situation. So when I am intuitively scanning the body, I am actually scanning your light body. I love this because light is so easy to read. We're kind of putting our energy state in neutrality, so it's easier to get in tune with the person that you're reading. I want to see each person filled with white light. That has not happened just yet. I've never seen anyone that's pure white light. Otherwise, I would probably not have a job because when there are areas that aren't carrying as much light, or they're carrying kind of a different frequency of light, that's the area that doesn't have harmony. And that's where the work is, right? That's the work of the soul and the body in union to help you grow and heal in this lifetime. And I want to show you how to do this. I need to know from you why you feel blocked. What blocks you from this? Then we can work through those blocks. So I changed the day to have a live webinar coming up at the end of the month. I changed it from Wednesday the 26th to Friday the 28th, still at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 4 p.m. But I want to take you there and choose some of you from the group to receive some work from me to help you remove those blocks, knowing that whoever gets to come and take the seat with me will be a group healing for everyone that's there. This leads to an online program I developed that I'm super excited to finally launch because it's been sitting in the wings for so long, which is to help you intuitively scan the body. You'll learn 4 different methods to scan the body, and there's lots of reasons why this skill comes in handy. One is just to take time to scan yourself and see if your frequency is off in different areas of your body, and then to tune into what that area of the body's needing. It's essential. It's an essential life skill to be able to do this for yourself. If you're thinking you want to dabble in this a little bit more and use it on people, this is just going to enhance your skills more. But you have to know what blocks you. That's the biggest trick here, right? Is what are the beliefs that block you from being able to access this part of your natural intuition? That's what I want to know. Do you guys have any questions, by the way, for me? This is my first time. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm pausing here to see if you guys have anything to share. I don't see anything. Okay, so let me think of what else I can add today before we say goodbye. Well, for me, I did get to train a lot. I did get to train my intuition a lot. Looking back in my childhood, now that I know how to easily access my intuition. My intuition when I was younger was on, it was off, it was on, it was off. Things would come through just randomly. And now with practice, it's my intuition's always on. Now, sometimes it's always on for people because they have so much anxiety and fear that they're on hyper alert, and that's exhausting to the system. What I think would be the best thing for people wanting to pursue expanding your intuitive abilities is learning how to tame the ego so that you can be in the energy of purity and receive the highest truth. I think that's one of the best gifts you could ever have. Oh, good question. So Saba asked, what about entities? Can you see those in a body scan? So when you are, the way that I read the body is I see the light body in front of me, and I'm actually in my own light body, and I'm in light, like in the energy of light. So the purity involved is crucial because we don't want interference from ghosts, spirits, any of that stuff. But when you're in the light, what you see is a light body in front of you, and then behind that person, you can see entities in someone's space. Now, because everyone has their own filter that they filter intuitive information through, you might interpret what you see differently than me, but I'll share what I see. I see entities behind people typically, and they look like a shadow. Oftentimes entities are also attached to like the ankles and the feet. So you want to make sure when you're doing a scan that you're moving all the way down the body. Something that's super important to know is that you don't have to be afraid of entities. That fear causes your light body to contract, and it causes your fear body to contract, making it very difficult to see the truth and to help move energy. So I like to approach entities with as much love as I can and ask for the divine to help clear them and bring them into the light. You stay commanding in your energy field, right? Like mama bear kind of energy, but take the fear and let it settle down, because you are more powerful than them. They are usually there for a reason. Usually there's a connection or an attachment, something someone's learning. Even addiction can kind of call these guys in. Sometimes your light's really bright, you call them in. Most of the time, nobody even knows that they're there. And so try not to be fearful. Try to do things through love. All right, great question, Saba. And I know you're on your honeymoon. Thanks for tuning in. Does anybody else have a question today that you want answered around intuitive scanning? Why you think you can, why you think you can't, why it's impossible, anything around your third eye? Okay, so I think I'll finish up with this. We have 4 main psychic senses. There are more than 4, but we have 4 main psychic senses. One of them is being clairvoyant, the third eye, and everybody wants that one. And I briefly touched on this earlier. Everybody has this one. Sometimes the third eye is blocked, and it's fear-based blocking always with the third eye. And it could be something with your past life. It could be you were harmed in your past life because you had the gift of sight. It could be that you're afraid to see the truth about yourself, or you're afraid to see the truth about someone else or a situation. So we also have claircognizance, which is your gift of knowing. And with this gift, you just know. You didn't read about it. You just get those downloads and you just know. And you start to move in that direction of your guidance. And other people that you love and adore, who love and adore you, they don't always understand why you're making these decisions and living your life a certain way, because it doesn't make any sense to them. But because you're such a knower, you understand to stick with that direction that you've been given. There's clairaudience for your hearing, and I believe that you can hear from outside, but also inside of your head. And then there's the clairsentient, which is the gift of feeling. See those in body scan. What about entity? I think that we answered that. Yeah. Okay, so 4 main ones, but there's also smell and there's also taste. Sometimes you might get a whiff of something, a fragrance. Like my dad, before he passed away, he lives in a different state. I could smell, he smoked cigarette, and I could smell that. And then after he passed away, every once in a while, I can smell the cigarette smoke. So there's some other forms that can show up in as well. Okay, so intuitive body scanning, you can do it. I'd love to help you, and I'd love to know what ways you feel blocked. That way we can unravel all that stuff. Check out on my website, RochelleStanley.com, where you can read more about this course and the other courses I have lined up for you. I use this work to help people. I only want to do this to help people grow into their greatest potential, to help them elevate from where they're at, get them out of where they're feeling stuck. And I like it. I like doing it. I remember when I was developing my gifts more, couldn't get enough. I really wanted to be super psychic and super intuitive, and it's a remembering for all of you out there, just so you know, it's in your DNA, and we're just waking it up in your DNA. All right. If I don't have any more questions, I think I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much for joining, and come back again next week at this same time. Come back with your questions, message me your questions. I'd love to answer them and help you with all that good stuff. Until we meet again, you guys, take care. Good to see you. I don't know how to exit out, so if you're still hanging on there, just know that that's